Hello, this is Tamika, a new me 1109, and I just wanted to stop in really quickly to answer a question. So I got a question wrapped in a comment to my Go video from last week, so I'll go ahead and share that, and then I'll answer to the best of my ability. So it said, congratulations, I have a question for you. Do you really just eat 1 cup of food? I have been at the same weight for several months and don't exercise. I still don't feel restriction. My doctor said to only eat 1 cup, but I can't seem to get that through my head. Any tips that you can provide would be helpful. Again, congrats. I have about 7.5 cc's and an 11 cc band. Do I really just eat 1 cup of food? And the answer is no. I was instructed to eat a half a cup of food. So I know that there are people out there who eat 1 cup of food. Now, when I talk about food, and this might be something that might be a little confusing, if I'm showing you what I eat, typically that's measured out to be a half a cup. So I think I've given examples in the past where I'll eat 1/4 a cup of yogurt and 1/4 a cup of cottage cheese, and so that's a half cup. Now I also, when I do the cooking videos and I measure out the food in the end and I show you how I store the food and put it in the freezer, I typically use 1 cup containers, but I don't fill those all the way to the top. And most of the time those are soups, and so what I do is I will dig out the solid part, so like the meat and the veggies or whatever that is, and I'll put a half a cup of that in the bowl first, and then I'll put some liquid part of the soup inside of it. And so when I'm eating, I'm trying to eat all of that solid protein or vegetables or whatever it is out first, and then I'll also eat some of the liquid as well. And so if I am eating something that's soupy, I can go up to maybe about 3/4 cup, but I try really hard to stay closer to a half a cup, because that was my instruction. And I know that there's also some other people out there who talk about eating half a cup, and again, there's people who talk about eating 1 cup. And the rule is stick to whatever your rules are from your surgeon. So if your surgeon is saying 1 cup, then go for that. Now, what helps me, or what helped me mentally get prepared for being able to eat a half a cup, is this. When I went to orientation December 18, 2007, yes, I said 2007. I didn't have my surgery until 2009 because I needed to do some work on my mind to make sure that I was ready for this. And so I always recommend, for those of you who are pre-op, make sure that your mind is in the game before you lay down on the table. Because if you have some, emotional eating issues, try to sort that out before you have surgery, because it will really make your journey a lot easier. Trust me. So I took about a year after going through the program, going through the classes, meeting my surgeon initially, to really going on a couple of cruises, eating a whole bunch of stuff. Took me about a year to really be prepared to change my life forever. So during the classes, I got off track. During the classes, first day of orientation, we received a binder, and it looks like this. And I vividly remember one of the first things that we were told was, right now, actually there was a slide that went up on the screen, and I know you probably can't see this, but it's a picture of a football and a picture of an egg. And on this sheet of paper it says, Before surgery, a normal stomach can stretch to the size of a football. After surgery, your stomach will be the size of an egg. Okay, talk about a reality check. You know that your stomach is going to be altered. You know that with lap band or realized band, gastric banding, that they are putting the band on the upper portion of your stomach very close to where your esophagus is. So your esophagus goes right into your stomach. Your band is very close to the bottom of your esophagus. So you don't really have that much space. It's this much space. And so, they talk to you and they tell you, when you're eating, make sure you chew your food up really well. Chew at least 30 times before you swallow. Because what you're trying to do, the goal is you're trying to get that food liquefied. So when you think about it, you think about your egg space and you think about a half a cup of food. If you are chewing, or a cup of food, if you are chewing your food well, as we're instructed to do, by the time it gets down to your pouch and it gets full, you're probably filling up this egg. Now, on the back of this sheet of paper that we have, it talks about your new anatomy. And it says in here, I'll read the first couple lines, and it says, the size of your new stomach will be approximately 1 ounce, which is 2 tablespoons. That could stretch to 2 ounces, which is the size of an egg or more. It is crucial that you monitor your portion sizes accordingly and protect your new stomach pouch by not overeating or drinking too much fluid at one time. For the rest of your life, you will only be able to eat small portions of food. It is normal for your pouch to stretch somewhat over time, but frequent overstretching will eventually lead to increased stomach capacity and weight gain. So, this is what helps me be able to only eat a half a cup of food at a time, or under a cup of food at a time if it's something that is liquefied. The more solid the food choices I make, the less amount of food I can eat, if that makes sense. If I'm sitting down to just eat, and I try to stay away from chicken breasts, but chicken thighs, for example. The other day I was like at El Pollo Loco or something, and I was not able to eat a whole chicken drumstick, because that's a solid protein. 1 chicken drumstick, I was able to eat half of it and I was full. Think about the egg. Now, when I get into this making soups and making stews and, eating cereal with milk and those types of things, you're able to eat more because it's already sort of liquefied from the very beginning before you even start chewing it up. So you're going to be able to eat more. I would recommend really trying to sit down and figure out what it is that you're eating. When you're trying to eat, pick some good solid proteins. Another thing to remember is not to drink and eat at the same time. The rule that I follow is stop drinking at least 30 minutes before you eat, and do not drink for an hour after you eat. If you're eating and drinking at the same time, then what's happening is you're able to eat more food, because as you eat and then you drink, you're just pushing the food through your pouch. You're not going to stay full long enough, and again, you'll be able to eat more food. And I have actually experienced that. I went on vacation, and for the first time, I think I was 7 months post-op at that time, I fell into the trap of eating and drinking, and I was able to eat a plate of food. And so, a normal plate, not my plate. I was totally overeating, gained weight and everything. So I know from experience, eating and drinking is a no-no. It will allow you to eat more and ultimately gain weight. So just, you know, a gentle question that I'm asking: if you're eating and drinking, that's something that's probably also preventing you to be able to just eat a cup of food and feel satisfied.
I have always had a fear of stretching my pouch. I've always had a fear of band slippage, erosion, all those things that can come along with overeating. And so I think what I read and what I saw and what I think through what your comment is that
I think what I sort of read into what you were saying is that it's hard to wrap your mind around eating a cup of food. And so that leads me to believe that, I'm not trying to sound weird or anything, but I think it's one of those head sort of issues, a head issue of, you know how we have head hunger, where we're not really necessarily physically hungry, but our mind is still wanting more food. Maybe that's something that's going on with you. So sort of try to tap into that and think about it a little bit and try to figure out whether or not it is a mind thing. And if it's a mind thing, work on that part of it. If it's a physical thing, I know you said you have 7.5 cc's in your band. Try to eat more solid proteins. Try to stay away from anything that's liquefied. Just try to stick to more solid proteins and see where that gets you. Hopefully that will help you. I just always think this is what I was trying to fill up before, and this is what I'm trying to fill up now. And so, can I squeeze a cup of food in here? Absolutely. If I try to put a cup of food in this, will I still be hungry? Absolutely. And so it is a mind, like we have to shift our minds into understanding that
physically we are not the same people that we were pre-op. Because pre-op we were dealing with a football in most of our cases, and now post-op we're dealing with an egg, or some people liken it to a golf ball. So same thing, you know, it's small. It's 2 ounces that they're saying we're really working with. But again, you know, we're able to eat that half a cup because the food is chewed up really well. So I hope that helped you, and if you still have any
okay, I hope that little information helped you out. Remember, we went from a football to an egg, and so just whenever you're eating, just keep in mind you're trying to fill the egg, you're trying to fill the egg, you're trying to fill the egg, and not the football. And maybe that will help you out. Okay, thank you guys for viewing, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.